Hello, my name is Renata Mürez, and I am an apprentice, or was an apprentice, of Kарлоsa Kastanedy, Taisha Abelar, Carol Tiggs, and Fluna Donna Grau. And all of these people were apprentices of Don Juan Matus. And these are the people that Carlos writes about in his books. And I think most people know us through those books of his writings.
What is your attitude to
Our normal awareness, pretty much what you and I are now, is really based on a very physical reality. And we perceive, we collect information from our environment through our five senses. And so this is a concrete reality. Now, in addition to that, in my tradition, what we believe is we have another body. We have a physical body, physical reality, but we have another body called our energy body. And it is this piece of ourselves that reads energy. This is the piece of ourselves that goes into the dream space. This is the piece of ourselves that gets those intuitive thoughts, that has those impulses without any single physical thing happening to us. Like for example, you might, in daylight, in waking state, we have what is called dreaming awake, which is when you're waking and you are with your energy body. Now, we go into the sleeping space. There's like the first level of our sleeping space. And this is our first level of dreaming, and this is where most of the dreams we have are pretty much part of our day. Our bosses show up, our cars, our houses, myself being 5 years old, my tricycle, everything shows up in that first level of dream. But this is where the seers of my lineage practice our arts, because then if we can hone our arts, we can hone our energy body in this first level of sleeping dream, then we get to go into the other layers of dreaming, which are far more profound, far more different. These are worlds that are very unfamiliar with our normal awareness, worlds that are very unfamiliar with anything we have accustomed to in physical reality. This is where people, for example, it depends on where you go, it's very telepathic, it's very colorful. It's, there are beings there. They do not resemble human beings at all. If you compare that when the sun lights out, we have a shadow, everybody does have an energy body, and it's with us all our time. And this is what Tensegriti teaches us, is how to reach it. Because as the seers describe, if we're just in normal awareness, this is only 1/2 of our energy. But if we're with our energy body, and you begin to perceive that the world is not physical, that this whole room is completely made out of energy, and then the physical world is put on top of it, that you can heal yourself, you can move matter from your energy body. So that's where a tradition like Tensegriti comes in, because it comes from a long line of seers, tens of thousands of years old.
То есть это то, где приходит наша традиция, которая идет из очень далекого времени, 10 тысяч лет назад.
When people come to our seminars, they will be doing these movements. And like I said, within 10 or 20 minutes, they will experience their energy body. Now, they're dreaming. They are awake. So they will be in a state of dreaming awake. They will feel a whole lot of energy they've never felt before. Their perception will go from here to here. It'll be like 360 degrees all around them. They'll close their eyes or keep their eyes open, and they'll be able to feel things in the back of their head. Most people can't in normal awareness. They're just kind of bicameral. We're all here, But they'll start feeling that. They'll start having interesting thoughts they've never had before. And that's just from 20 minutes of doing these movements.
У нас левая рука тянется вверх, а за ней тянется правая рука вверх, левая ведет правую. И при этом мы делаем вдох и выдох. Давайте сделаем несколько раз.
For someone, though, to use that in the sleeping dream, I would say that it would probably take a concentrative effort of maybe 3 months of movements before you see something different in your sleeping dream. And then before you control your dream, as we were discussing earlier, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for you to really get close enough to your energy body, to not have a lag time, and to command the space, command yourself in that space. It's going to take a number of years. I would say on the average, people start doing it about after 5 years. But you see, the importance for our lineage is to go into the dream space with as pure as possible and with as little interpretation. So that's why we do this thing called the recapitulation. We review those scenes from our lives that are the basis of our brain, our ideas, our habits, you know, our psyche. And we review those and interject our energy body into those. So when you go into the dream space, you are relatively pure. And you're just in that momentary, wow, this is really cool, instead of, oh, that reminds me of when I was 5 years old. When you're there and you're saying that, the whole dream's going to collapse because you've brought too much of your normal awareness into the dream space. You'll have no control over it. We learn how to control ourselves in normal awareness. We learn how to control our emotions or anger, these kinds of things. We learn how to stop the dialogue of our mind to get silent, because as soon as this is silent, then the energy body comes in. And so we learn this in our normal awareness, which transfers to that first layer and multiple layers of the sleeping dream. How that manifests in the sleeping dream space is I am in control of myself. I mean, you do understand that in normal awareness, I make my reality by what I think and by what I do. Well, your dream space is your reality also. So you make that space yourself. Okay.
That we have the opportunity to perceive through our energy body and all of the realms of energy which it exists in.
Что у нас еще есть возможность воспринимать при помощи энергетического тела и всю реальность энергии, которая идет вместе с этим.
What you want to focus on, what we'll be focusing on, is a current scene of maybe some kind of conflict that you had.
So once you learn how to control some of your habits and patterns here, then you learn how to control yourself there. So in that first, second, third, fourth layers of dream, you'll be able to tell yourself, well, there's a door over there. I want to walk to the door. Because, you know what, when we first start dreaming, we're kind of voyeurs. We're kind of sitting there, watching everything go by. Wow, look at that. Whoa, I'm flying. But I got no control over this. Nothing. And so by getting control here, you'll get control of yourself there, and you can walk yourself to the door. And I go, you know what? I want to go to the Himalayas. I want the Himalayas to be on the other side of that door. And you open that door in your dream space, and the Himalayas will be there because it is by your design. The same thing as when other entities, as you were talking before about fear, would enter your dream. You can say, no, go away, and they will dissolve because it's your dream. So this is what we're after, is this kind of control. By controlling ourselves, we then are able to control the dream. But it doesn't work the other way around. It works from here out. Do I have dreams every night? I have dreams almost every other night. I mean, lucid dreams where I'm in them and I'm in the space and I'm doing things, about every other night. Now, I have a lot of that first layer dream where I still practice my skills of moving myself around and moving from dream to dream and all that kind of thing. And maybe I would say, you know, the very far out dreams, maybe I have a very far out dream maybe about once every 3 months, I would say. And then, you know, you don't want to have those far out dreams without having your skills. Okay, well, I'm saying those level 3, 4, and 5, those level dreams where the worlds are completely different. So beings are crawling along tile, and I mean, they're very unusual, let's say. And so there's no more rules for you. Yeah. You're totally there, and you totally have to be fully energetically aware and walk or manipulate yourself through this space. And not be antagonistic. You don't want to be antagonistic to your environment there. And you don't want to get too much attention, you know. So you just, but you learn how to do this. But that's what I call the far out dreams. Examples of it, I think I said earlier. Beings, like I say, don't look like this. Sometimes they're blobs of energy, and they're very telepathic, and they'll communicate with you, and you get sensations, you know. There's some worlds I go to where there's a bunch of healers there, which is interesting. You can heal your physical body in dream space, sleeping dream space, because these healers come up to you and they'll just go, well, you've got an energetic hole here, and then you've got one there, and they'll squish all your energy back together again. And you'll wake up the next morning and goes, oh my God, I feel so amazing. You know, because you're energetically been put back together. It's amazing. 10 people will walk and look at an elephant, and each person will have a different reality of what that animal is. Yeah, they make their own perception, that's right. And that's the same thing that happens in the dream space. So if you're a god in the dream space, you're a god of your reality here, and you're a god of your reality there. Yeah. The average beginner could start out with maybe a half an hour of movements a day. And then if they really wanted to focus on their sleeping dream, they might want to do some movements before they go to bed. And because that will get you with your energy body before you go into the sleeping dream. So I would say a half an hour, maybe in the morning. And then maybe on the weekends you go to a practice group or something, you know, a Tensegriti practice group, and you meet up with people. And that's where you do the recapitulation and the witnessing with each other. And that's what I would suggest, yeah.
And at that time, this wasn't relegated for the shaman of the tribe. Everybody could do this.
И в то время это еще не было сделано особой задачей шамана какого-то племени. Любой человек мог это сделать.
You want some tips, okay, how to keep a journal. Okay, you wake up, okay, you're in bed, okay, and you're just starting to wake up. Okay, so you wake up, all right, you just go, oh yeah, I'm starting to wake up. As soon as you do big physical movements, you've lost the dream space. So you don't. You wake up and you have a logbook and you have a pen, really close to you. You can kind of move your arms, but as soon as you move this stuff, you'll be back in normal awareness, okay? So however you sleep, you know, you kind of go, oh, I'm waking up, oh, I remember my dream. And you kind of just reflect upon the dream so you don't lose it. And then you just reach over for the pad and the pen, and then you just don't try to move. You can write across, and you can just, okay, that's what and you just write it down. That is the best way to remember your dreams. Because you go to work, you eat breakfast, you drive your kids to school, you're not going to remember your dream. You're going to have to, but you need just like a little extra 5 minutes in the morning. I mean, this isn't elaborate stuff. This is just little tiny things that we do to change ourselves. When I met Carlos, I didn't believe I could do anything in his books. Nothing. You know, I had read his books and go, oh, well, that's really great, but only you can do it. You know, I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. But over time, and through, you know, times with Tensegriti, I gained more. I did have his experiences in the book. So I realize now that my believing that I couldn't have them made my progress slower. And so what I'd really like to tell people is that believe that you can. Believe that you can. And that, therefore, you will go faster.